we doing, guys? 545 Prepper here. I've had this gear and such from SRVV for a while now. Pretty much everything before you I've had for at least a year up until 3 years, varying on different items. I've really come to like their products. So I was going to take you through the gear, show you some of the things that I really enjoy and that I'm happy about my purchase. Some of the things that I could live without. There's only a couple of those items. Alright, first up are these knee pads. I bought these second hand. I'm not a big knee pad user, but I did use them a couple times, and the couple times that I did use them, they were very adequate and they did stay in place. I just find that knee pads in general are rather uncomfortable for what you actually get out of knee pads. So the person that owned them before me used them extensively, and they still are holding up very well. They are fastened by these little keepers there. They're adjustable via Velcro. Velcro is very positive still. SRVV does use name brand Velcro as well. So they're holding up over the time. Even though I personally have not used them, I can tell that they are pretty worn. Next, let's go over this IFAC. I actually waited some time for them to get this in stock on their website when I was ready to order, and very happy I did. Just undo that buckle and just rip it right off of whatever you have it attached to. Sometimes I'll attach it to a webbing that I use, or my ruck, or a plate carrier, of course. But that mounting system I do like. It has MOLLE. Zipper here, clamshells open, got a tourniquet, quick clot, some compression gauze, all the normal IFAC stuff. I pretty much emptied a US IFAC and just filled this. It's a little snug with some of the items in there, but you can make it work. Also does have a front pocket here. I don't know what you would put in there. See, I stuffed this thing, so that front pocket would be really stuffed. Another thing I forgot to mention about the IFAC here is this little sewn-on patch of the Red Cross. It's dark enough to not be noticed, but it's easily identifiable when it's on your person and someone needs to use your IFAC on yourself. That's what IFACs are for, guys, to use on yourself, not others. Alright, next I have 4 of these pouches. They are double mag pouches for AKs. They have a divider in there, and they are just have a flap that has Velcro. 2 strips from MOLLE. I have 2 of them on my plate carrier right now, so I have 2 of them off. I'll show you why I only have 2 of them right now a little bit later. So these are pretty inexpensive and very effective. They are simple and rugged. Next up is, this is more like a butt pack. I do believe I might, can't recall if I got this second hand, but it's very lightly used if I did. It has a nice little membrane fabric in here. It's very nice and open. You can stuff a lot of stuff in here. You can cinch it closed, tie this if you wish, and then tuck it in. And then this flap comes over the top here. And then you got one Velcro point here. And then 2 buckles on each side. You have 2 little strips from MOLLE. You can attach those mag holders or anything you wish. And then here you have MOLLE on the back, which you can attach to. You can either attach it to the back of your ruck or a plate carrier. Next here we just have a general pouch. I'm not sure exactly what the description is on SRVV. I got this one second hand as well. It's just a big open pouch. I have one on my plate carrier, and this one that's extra currently that I sometimes will attach to my ruck. I can fit a canteen in there, a 1 quart, or an Nalgene bottle or something like that. That's what I'm actually using mine for. My ruck is for water purposes. Before I got that IFAC, I was using the second one as a makeshift IFAC, and it was very roomy, but you can cinch this down and make it pretty small. Alright, now here's like the only piece of gear that I haven't used, but it's pretty simple. It's a Mitch cover for a helmet. Pretty simple, straightforward. The construction of it seems to be done very well. Stitching, very nice. Snaps sewn on very nicely. I've been wanting to get a helmet for some time, and it just hasn't really came up yet. Next up, we have their patrol cap. It's of course in their Serpat pattern. It's actually pretty much identical to a U.S. Army patrol cap, at least when they had ACUs, and minus the Velcro strip in the back, it's pretty much identical, except they do have these ventilation holes, and if I recall correctly, the ACU ones did not. So, one thing about their sizes, the SRVV size chart is very accurate when you do the comparisons to US sizes. You can trust it, unlike some other foreign sizing charts. Next up, we have their boonie hat offering. It does have snaps on the side. So if you want that profile, you can, or just one. If you like the Outback, you know. You got a drawstring here for either the chin, or I usually just get it out of the way or something. If I'm wearing it up on the sides, I'll just put it over top there. The construction of this is on par. I haven't had no issues. I've had this for about a year. Once again, sizing is correct. If you do their comparison, they have a very nice chart there. Next up, this was the actual first item from SRVV that I got. Is a version 2 chest rig, just like an X frame. You got 2 grenade pouches here. This is more like a flare pouch. You put it in there, or a radio if you wish, and it has this elastic band which you can run the longer length item through. You have 4 double AK mag pouches on the front there, and then just a mirrored image of the other side there. Straps are padded. They're not excessively padded, but for 8 mags, it doesn't get uncomfortable. Straps are adjustable, as well as you have a cross-sling strap in the back there. Stitching is very nice. Like I said, I've had this for the longest time out of any of my gear, and very happy with it. These things in the plain colors, I believe they're only 50 or 60 bucks. For the ones in Serpat, they're around 70, 75 bucks, I do believe, which I hope to soon be getting one of these in Serpat. My wife likes using it, and I like it as well. So, next up, let's go over this sling here. It's a 1-point sling. You see here on a triangle folder, it just has a strap that wraps all the way around here, and then you can buckle this and then throw this over your shoulder and over your head and everything. Quick detach here. Another buckle. This could also work on standard sling swivel in the back of an AK. It's not excessively comforting, but it does its job. I have this actually adjusted for my plate carrier that I can attach it to the strap in the back, and it pretty much sits right here on me, which makes it pretty easy for more urban use. This is actually an airsoft gun. I don't have an SBR yet, sadly, but hopefully in the near future. Alright guys, got these uniforms. That's standard. I bought the Alpha uniform that they have. They have 2 different, well, I guess 3 different versions of the Serpat pattern in different cuts, if you will. I bought the Alpha, which is more of a standard BDU style. You have just your normal front pocket, which of course, just like every other BDU, it's very shallow in my opinion. After your front pocket there, you got your cargo pocket. This one has some Velcro on one end, and it's elastic, which I do like that. It's elastic, you don't even need to use the damn Velcro, I don't. And then at the very end, the very bottom of the leg, you have another pouch, which may be a little bit larger than a cell phone. And then in the back you have your two butt pockets there. Waist, you do have the cinctures there. I don't use them because of course I just use a belt so I can run my pistol. At the bottom of the legs, you do have the blousers. Once again, I just either tuck my boots or I use actual boot blousers when I wear these and such. And it's very nice ripstop material. Haven't had any tearing issues, any stitching come undone. Very happy with it so far. And I actually probably need to order another set of these because I was out for a couple days at an event and it was just muddy clay and these kind of got stained a little bit. Alright, up next is the jacket. Came with the uniform. The set was about around $124, $125 for the set. Once again, standard BDU style. You have a normal collar. You only have the upper pocket. You have Velcro tapes above each of them. And then on the arms, you have an upper pocket here. The front of the blouse is only buttons, kind of like the older BDUs. The other version of their uniform, which has a Mandarin collar, actually has a zipper and Velcro, and then Velcro cuffs, which just has buttons. One of my local friends got that one versus this, and I'm contemplating getting that just to have the variety. And I do like the Velcro cuffs and the zipper front, but who knows what I'm gonna get. Alright guys, last piece of uniform is I bought their combat shirt. I haven't worn it as much as the actual uniform, but the times that I have, it has been very comfortable. Adjustable cuffs by Velcro. You pretty much have the same upper pockets as on the normal BDU top. You do have more of a Mandarin collar. It has nothing to attach up here, but you have a front zipper. Goes like a quarter way down, you know. Same thing on the reverse side. And this material is thick enough, but it's pretty breathable. It can be used in multiple climates, from hot to cold. I mean, if it was really cold, you would probably want to just wear the normal uniform, but to each their own. Alright, which leaves the last three things I have on the top here, which is a ruck, a plate carrier, and a chest rig. The chest rig is a little bit more extensive than the other one that we covered, the OD Green. This one is in the Serpat pattern. This one here, it has 4 double mag pouches in the front. It does have a buckle on the bottom and at the top here, and then a zipper that runs down the length of the front. I'll unzip it here in a second. On the shoulder harness, you have 2 straps that come down on either side. On your left shoulder, it comes with a pouch. You can put something. I have a Russian tourniquet in there, just because. You always can use a tourniquet. On the bottom here, you have belt loops you can attach to a duty style belt if you wish. On the outside of the mag pouches, you have another one of those flare pouches, and then 2 grenade pouches, which I have this little smoke grenade there, and a little for the 4th of July style smoke grenade, and then 2 more grenade pouches on the other side. Just got a little Russian bandage in there. On the back of the chest rig, you have a butt pack that is sewn on versus the other one that was MOLLE attached. This one, you do have MOLLE strapped at the top of it, so you can put another pouch of some kind that you want on there. On either side, you do have another pouch which you can fit, I do believe, 2 AK mags. I should have tested that, but I do believe you can fit 2 AK mags, but I usually just shove a bottle of water in each of them. So you release those 2 straps, and you got another one of these membrane fabrics. You can just undo that. And then I got stuff stuffed in there, but it's pretty generous on the sizing. I've worn this several times and it's been comfortable. You do have this strap that rides right across the back of your neck there, and as you unzip this, the 2 fronts separate, of course, but on either side here you have this portion right here, and you have a map pouch that goes the length of right here, and significant for whatever you need to put it in there, like papers, maps, candy, you know. Now, that's one thing I forgot to cover with the OD green one, is it does also have a map pouch, which just goes down the length of this right here. One thing I forgot to mention is the chest rig in the Serpat pattern does come with a belt. I do not use it because it is very flimsy and I find it unnecessary for any type of support because how flimsy it is. The OD green one does also have the same buckles. I could use this on that. However, same thing. I don't use this because of how flimsy it is. If this was stiffer, I might, but this I just use for other purposes than any type of tactical application. Alright guys, next is the plate carrier. Now, I do have AR 500 steel plates in it, and AR 500 Armor did make plates for this specific design because it takes the Defender style plates versus the normal American Sappy. It's a two-part system. I will probably do an extensive review on that compared to all these other small items. That way, those interested in that can go view that. Alright guys, here's my plate carrier. I love this thing. Other than the weight of the steel plates, which you can get used to, this thing is fucking awesome. I got my different single mag pouches here. Then I have a double pistol mag pouch here, radio pouch here. I've played around with different positions for this, but as little as I actually pull my pistol mags out here, it doesn't really get in the way. On the side here, on my left side, I have a double mag pouch, which is the same one that I covered previously. And then I had a custom dump pouch made when I had a chest rig made for my SVD. Just lift up, unfolds. It's pretty generous. Kennedy Nylon Designs made that. He was able to find this pattern, or I found the pattern and I sent him the link to purchase for the project. But it doesn't quite match, but it does its job, and I'll eventually just buy a SRVV one, but it does its purpose until then. And on the left side I have another double mag pouch here, and I have this pouch that I covered that I said I carry water in. It's just a general pouch, but I use it to carry a canteen. So that's it on the front, guys. And usually I would have my IFAC on my left rear here, but I've been using other things recently, like my chest rig and my ruck, and I just attach that to one of the mollies on there. On the front here, you do have two straight strips of Velcro. You can attach name tapes or just a cool guy patch or something. This one is covering this little flap here. I just have a pull cord, which would pull this, and one of the shoulders and the side and your cummerbund would come apart, and that way you can basically just wiggle it off. So that's a cool feature in case of shit happens, you need to get out of your heavy ass plate carrier. Shoulder pads are very comfortable. They're very generous. The way that they're adjusted right here, you just cinch this forward, and then it kind of comes over here. You got the back looks here. Plenty of molly. Got some more Velcro up top there. And I'll do a more extensive review here probably in the near future, covering the plates and more of the exact features of the plate carrier. But this is the Alpha plate carrier from SRVV. It does have mesh on the inside, which you can add Kevlar and such, but that's for the future review, guys. Alright guys, next item and last item I currently have is the SRVV 60-liter ruck. I've used this several times, multiple days, and I have found it to be extremely well made and meets a lot of the uses I have for a ruck. I've actually sold two of my other rucks recently because I have no use for them because I love this ruck so much. Alright guys, the 60-liter ruck. It's not too overly sized, but it is pretty much the right size for multiple days as needed. You have 4 exterior pouches, such as these. I'm able to fit about 3 full-size mags in here. In this one, I got a little camping type crap in here. Okay. And then inside this, I usually will keep a stove, so I can hook up a little butane gas too. And which one of those butane ones that the small stoves hook up to will fit in one of these pouches as well. Alright, other than those 4 pouches, under them you have a strip of molly webbing that runs across. That's usually where I attach like my IFAC right to the back here, or one of those butt packs that we covered. At the top here on your cover, you got these 2 front clips, and you got a top zipper that opens up for this smaller compartment. I usually keep this 550 and other stuff in there. Very nice YKK zippers. They use name brand zippers, name brand Velcro. Very nice construction. The stitching on this is second to none. The straps are generously padded, very nice. It has some mesh on the other side to help with breathing. It has some mesh here where your back sits. And then right here, there's a belt that runs through it that can be removed. It's just held in there by Velcro. I typically have it removed, but longer rucks, if you're going to do that, you might want it. On here, you got some molly strapping. And then across the front of these, you do have these buckles here. Help you keep it on your shoulders better. You got these straps, which are pretty adjustable. Not only that, but they're quick detach. You got to pull up. So the quick detach, you got to pull up on them. Very nice construction. All right, guys. And after you undo these 2 buckles on the top for this flap here, you have another one of these membranes here to help keep the stuff dry. Undo that. Big open compartment. Remember, it's a 60 liters worth of space within the ruck. I do believe that also covers these pouches, so it might be a little bit less than 60 inside the actual ruck, but it's very close. It's pretty deep. Pretty much all one person needs for a couple days, in my opinion. Now, you have a tarp in here and an e-tool. But inside the back here, you do have this internal frame, if you want to call it that. They call it I don't actually remember what they call it, but it's these 2 rods that they give you that slide into it, and you can shape it to your back to make it more comfortable for you, and it'll help keep it more secure and comfortable, I guess. So that's a very nice feature. The ruck down from this, the 40 liter, does not have this internal frame system, which I was contemplating getting that one at first. So I was like, well, it'll probably be a little bit too small, and I didn't even notice this in the description, and I'm happy that I went with the 60 liter just for that. An internal frame makes all the difference. One thing that comes with the ruck is you get these 2 straps, which are good for cinching down gear that won't fit in the ruck, such as a sleeping bag or sleeping mat. They're very nice and sturdy, and they keep in place pretty well. Next time I'm going to order more of these, just because they're nice to have for attaching things to your ruck. So here's that belt I was talking about. It attaches inside there by the Velcro. You have more wider molly here around the belt, and then you have this buckle, which is adjustable by these straps right here on the front. One last thing I forgot to cover on the ruck. On the very bottom, you got this molly strip as well. Not only this one up here. So I put a lot of stuff on here, put a lot of stuff in it, and it stay comfortable for you with that internal frame and the generous padding. There's 2 things I haven't covered yet, which are these hats. One's the boonie, one's the regular patrol cap. I got these because I wanted to see in person what this new camouflage looks like, and it's very similar in my opinion to multicam, but a digital form without some colors and blah blah blah, little different shades. But overall, I kind of like this pattern, and I kind of want to get a uniform set in it, and maybe even a plate carrier or a chest rig or something, just because it's something different, and it's might work better in one season versus this, you know. Alright guys, so that was my SRVV collection currently. I'll probably do a more in-depth review of the plate carrier and maybe even the ruck. If you guys want to see more on a certain item that I have, just let me know. I will try to do a detailed review on that. Hopefully I'll be getting even more SRVV gear here in a couple of months. I'm going to place an order, I'm thinking. The Serpat pattern I have been impressed with. It works in a lot of seasons decently, and it works in some seasons very well. Fall, this is one of the best in my opinion. It works very well because of the browns and the darker green, if you will, or I guess it's a lighter green, but the gray and the brown really kind of wins in fall in my opinion. That's why I'm thinking the Savannah pattern might do better in the spring and summer. So maybe this will be like fall, winter, and this will be spring and summer. So we'll see where it's going to go. Appreciate you guys tuning in.